Lot of your students also joining.
Just
Good, good, good. I'm happy. Welcome, Joe. Joe Cecil.
no, sir. Students will not join. Teachers could join in
Okay,
their
good.
way because this is
Very
the workshop I had planned for the teachers.
wonderful.
Very good evening to one and welcome. We warmly welcome you to the Deccan Positive Mental Health webinar series. It is our privilege to extend a heartfelt welcome to today's esteemed resource person, Mrs. Kavita BD ma'am, our enthusiastic participants and our dedicated team. On behalf of Mansur Bhakar, Hyderabad, Yellowpond Wellness Center, India, 4S Creative Studio, Punjab Refined. We thank you for being part of this initiative focused on fostering mental well-being and positive change. Now I call upon India Sima to give the introduction for ma'am.
We are delighted to welcome Mrs. Kavitha Bedi Ma'am. Mrs. Kavitha Bedi Ma'am is an experienced professional with a background in education, psychology, and motivational speaking. She has a proven track record in developing impactful content, managing projects, and conducting successful campaigns. Her skills include public speaking, content creation, audience engagement, and memorization techniques. We are happy to have you here today, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction, ma'am, and sweet greetings, sir, ma'am, and super evening to all the teachers present here. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Deccan Positive Mental Health team for inviting me once again on their platform. And also, I'm grateful to Almighty for giving me chances to connect with the people who are related with psychology as we learn from each other. Okay, so as you all know that the session would be for the teachers, so let me start the session. Before I share my presentation, let me start the session with the question to you all. You can unmute or you can use the chat box to answer. Just let me know, what are the challenges do you all face with adolescent by the time I share my screen?
They think they know it all.
Yes, you're right. Please, others also, by the time I'm sharing the presentation. I hope all of your answers were very familiar, right? They don't listen, they are always on their phone, or whatever you said was quite correct. But today in this session, let us try to understand why this happens. Are they doing it intentionally, or they are really going through various changes, physical, emotional, and social? As you all know, teenage years are full of change, and they do experience these changes. They are not, this workshop is going to tell you that they are not behaving dramatically, but they are facing lot of changes in their body due to which they are behaving so. Not only this, you will be finding that they are behaving the way they are behaving because their brain is still developing. Let me change the slide. See, their brain is under construction. So, the prefrontal cortex, let us be empathetic towards them, try to understand that their brain is still developing. The reason of the brain, which is responsible for reasoning, impulse control, as you said, they do not listen. So why they do not listen is because of this, because they act before they think. They struggle with the decision making and they get overwhelmed easily. Now, you know, in my experiences with the teachers, what I find is that uh, get uh, they lose their temper. They instead they should be calm during these emotional outbursts. They should give a moment to reset. Children are in the habit of answering back also. In that moment also, we should not react. We should control ourselves and give them a moment to reset. After that, we should call them patiently, separately, and understand their core needs of attention, appreciation, and approval. Then only we'll be able to deal with it. Here I have noted one quote for you. Just reflect on this, dear teachers. The kids who need most love will ask for it in most unloving ways. So if you see a child who is struggling, please understand that he needs your attention. After this, after my presentation, I will have a discussion on this. I hope till here, do you want to ask anything?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Then, next is, see, due to hormonal changes they are going through, the mood swings, irritability, and sensitivity, they all are real. They are actually facing the hardship. They are not trying to create hardship for you. So we need to be empathetic and deal with them patiently instead of labeling them dramatic or something else, as we are in the habit sometime. Then all of us have gone through this stage of identity crisis and self-doubt when we were adolescent. Let us reflect back and share these experiences with the students, share our own experiences, how we felt when we were not able to take the decision, what was the effect of our own friends on us. That is very important. And apart from this, we should tell them that individual differences need to be appreciated instead of only thinking ki she is good and I am not. We should say that everyone has his or her own strength, and we should appreciate that, because if the world is going to be the same, then we will feel bored. If we all are same in our thoughts, looks, or talent, then nothing. Only the world would be full of either one thing, either engineer or something. So this we need to explain them. Next, of course, they experience this peer pressure. Now, what to do for this peer pressure? We need to develop various life skills in them, particularly assertiveness. We need to tell them that you have a right to say no to the person, to your friends, if they are taking you to the wrong direction. And we need to explain them that in this age the children will encourage you to go in wrong direction, but you have to be firm. They are not your true friends if they are asking you to move in wrong direction. For this, the teachers should keep an eye on the class and should find out which child is being bullied, because there are various cases in our classes, and I had done so much work on this bullying, what type of activities we can do so that we get to know who is being bullied and who is the victim, who is doing all this in the class. These victims should be dealt separately. They should be counseled, either by the teacher, or if the teachers do not have time, I'm really empathetic with you all, then they should send the child to the counselors, as in various schools now we have counselors, so it is their duty to see. Then, yes, now I had come to the point. This is the stress which we all haven't experienced. This generation is experiencing. When we were adolescent, we didn't had this YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatnot. They must be, now it is the time that we must talk to them regarding their digital boundaries. We should explain them that what is right for them, what is wrong, where they get into wrong trap. That all we have to educate them digitally. It is very, very important to educate them. Apart from this, if I talk about that, you all have the, one reason as a parent or as a teacher, one complaint you have with these adolescents that they are always found on their phones. But then, if you think deeper, after the pandemic, they have got addicted to this, and now at least we should give them some time to overcome. We have to think about the ways in which we
You
can.
check according to us also how to deal with adolescent.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, continue. Sorry. Continue, please continue.
Okay. So I was telling about this social media stress, and I was at the point that uh, children are using lot of mobiles. But now, see, the children, those who are younger, their parenting and their things are different. They can be given separate time, separate type of counseling can be given to them, to the parents of the younger children. But with this generation, will be not be able to, what I feel, separate them from these social media. We have to educate them. We cannot separate them. Apart from this, sometimes I find that the parents, they or the teachers, they create lot of stress in them, frustrate them, that you are always on the mobile. But let us think in the other way around. This gadget has taken the place of various other gadgets like calculator, like dictionary. Now we are always with mobile. We are not watching TV. Children are attending tuitions on this. So we need to see what the child is doing on the mobile. He or she should be mindful of that. What he is scrolling, he should be mindful. If you ask him or her during the vacations you are with them, you should ask them that what are they scrolling? Is it something fruitful they are doing? Then it's okay. It's okay to use these things. They are making our children smarter also. But on the same time, we have to educate them to detach from these for their peace, for the peace in their life. So, but only cribbing is not a solution. This is the message I wanted to deliver. We'll discuss once I finish the presentation. Okay. Next, let us see when these days I'm finding lot of children come to me for counseling. They are from broken homes. So understand the emotional disturbance which they are facing. Now, many teens are facing a strict parenting, lack of understanding or neglect, domestic violence. Girls come to me and they had shared various cases with me on related to domestic violence. Understand what is the psychology of the child who is observing all this in this place where their home is their safe place, and there they are struggling. Then same way the parent might be physically present but emotionally she is absent because of what she is facing. apart from this, the same point, I would like to speak for this also, कि we need to check ourselves first in order to counsel these children. So build trust so that they open up. As teachers, if the child is not performing well, then we need to check. We need to check where is the problem lying. Okay, because maybe at home front there is some problem, that is why the child is not able to perform properly. Then if I talk about this academic pressure or fear of failure, it's, when we were adolescent, we never have the pressure of scoring perfect 100, which now these adolescents are facing. And of course the school system is such, plus the parental pressure is there to score 100. But we as teachers should recognize their efforts and not the result. This lowers their stress and will be motivating them to continue their work. Next is, yes, because of all the pressure which they are facing, they at times indulge in risky behaviors like self-harm, substance abuse, or aggression. They are crying, they may be silently crying for help. So we should not ignore these changes. We should refer them to the school counselor. As a teacher, it is your responsibility to work as a counselor also now. The teacher's role have changed from the only giving the instructions or dealing with the question answers to the facilitator, to the guide, to the counselor in the class. And of course you all do not have time for that. We have a special counselor in the class, in the school, or the special educators who can deal with these children. So I am not able to see that side. I request you all to close your eyes for a moment and participate in this activity. This is going to give you idea what we can do as a teacher. May I expect your cooperation?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so now let us recall. Please close your eyes for a moment and recall an adult or mentor in your life who made you feel seen, valued, or supported. Just think, and afterwards I will stop sharing the screen, then you will share your experience with me. Connection. They have that fear that they will be misunderstood because they are misunderstood by their peers also at times. They have to be taught various life skills. Now we are having one specific period for a life skills in our schools. I'll be interacting with you right now. What is the situation there? And they won't share. They are expecting blame or the lectures. Dear teachers, please understand, these children, they do not love lectures. We have to change our way of talking to these children. We can use them. We can use the phrases like, "That sounds hard. I am here for you. I appreciate you sharing this. Would you like help or just come to listen?" If we start with these type of phrases, they will definitely connect with us and share their problems. So what was your question?
Ma'am, I was asking last slide. In the last slide, what was the tip? You always have a tip in the last of every slide.
Yes, sir. So in the last slide, which slide can you let me know? Just
where you told about the lecture, like don't lecture them or don't.
Yes. So there, I was telling you about the phrases which you can use with the children so that they can connect with you better. For example, we have to tell them, I understand you. Let's come, share your thoughts with me. I'll not be sharing. You have to tell them that you will keep the things confidential. You have to show your empathy towards them. All these phrases, our nature, how much emotional connect we have with the child, our understanding, our caring, our way of establishing connection with them will help these adolescents grow in a better way, developing life skills, making them self-aware of what talent they have, so that when they get depressed, they only think of that thing. But we can develop a habit of expressing gratitude towards the talent which they are having daily. They should taught how to prepare a journal. In the starting, we tell them these steps of generalizing. Firstly, the child writes uh, the activities which he has done throughout the day. That is step one. That he gets the awareness of what activities he has done. Secondly, he will now associate the feelings with those activities. For example, you had an interaction with some of your colleagues. Okay, now that interaction could be positive, that interaction could have been negative. We all are humans. So now, if it was positive, what type of emotion it created? This all will help them to regulate their emotions. Someone was asking something?
Mother said, I said, why are you giving? Because I'm a teacher. You know, once a teacher is always a teacher everywhere. It may be in a train, it may be in a flight or anywhere. So I told the mother, why are you giving to such a child? No, she disturbs me when I'm cooking, when I'm doing anything, she disturbs me. That's why I'm giving. I was surprised.
Ma'am, that is how they develop the habit now. That is how they develop
Exactly.
the habit. And we had studied the Pavlovian theories in psychology, where the association, now you give the mobile and then they will eat the food. Who has
Yes.
developed this habit? Who has developed that
When,
association and
when my
memory of
children,
it?
Thank you so much. Thank you for this informative session, ma'am.
Thank, thank
Uh,
you.
Wonderful session, Kavita Bedi. I was hesitating to join, though I am secretary, because teachers and adolescents, what we are going to hear. Of course, once upon a time, I was a chief instructor of my bank's training college, but now it is different. But I have learned a lot because I'm having a granddaughter in my house, adolescent. Now, how to handle her also, I have learned from you now. Not only teacher and student, if it is a grandparents, how to handle the granddaughters, grandsons, also I have learned. Very useful, wonderful session. We are all thankful to you for the wonderful session.
Thank
On
you
behalf of
so
all
much,
my
sir.
groups, I am not going to mention the names of the groups. We are highly thankful to you. Once again, hope to listen to you in course of time. Thank you, friends, for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So please bless us. Please bless me.
Thank you. You're
I am
great. You're doing
so
great.
honored to be the part of, means to discuss these things with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.